Hey kids, it's been a while. I'm gonna be trying something new today. And also forgive me, I am sick with a really bad chest cold. This is the third time I've been sick in about the span of 4 months. The first time I got sick was my first time having COVID. That knocked me on my ass, and then about a month later, I got a head cold, and now here we are with a chest cold. So I'm trying to talk as soft and as delicately as possible. But that's why I'm sounding a little a little shitty. Let's put it that way. Um, yes, I've been trying to keep the YouTube channel alive by posting little clips here and there of me and David having some funny haha giggle moments, and then moments of me getting absolutely infuriated with the new Call of Duty, which I would talk more about, but I am planning a full fledged video for the future talking about this game because I feel like the new Modern Warfare 2 is one of the most divisive Call of Duty titles I've seen in a while. A lot of people praising it and a lot of people absolutely hating it. I personally like it, but I am not foolish enough to deny its flaws. Does it have a lot of room for becoming better? Yes. I've also just been busy. I am currently writing an EP and doing my side thing of music. I also, I have a job that I need to do because I have to pay for things in the real world. Uh, and I've just been workshopping ideas on what can I do to maybe liven up my content and my YouTube channel a bit, because this has always just been a nice little creative resource for me, a way to kind of explore new things and try new things. And so this is the first time I'm ever doing a video like this. I don't think I've ever had a true like honest and earnest conversation about things like this. Um, anyway, I want to talk about this just because it was such a big factor in my young life, and it still is some days. And I feel like a lot of young people and people my age can relate to this and hopefully learn something from my story, and learn something from approaching the situation like I did. And that's lack of motivation. I feel like a lot of people struggle with this. Not even just young people like me. I mean, I'm in my 20s. I've been struggling with this for literally all of my teen years, and then it wasn't until you know I would say partway through my adult life that I started kind of figuring things out. But I even people in a lot of people who are in their 30s to 50s still struggle with lack of motivation. For me, I've always been uh, I've struggled with mental health for most of my life. My life has had a lot of ups and downs, plenty more downs than ups, uh, and that's a different story for a different time. But that's a big factor, probably the biggest factor behind my lack of motivation is when I get in a bad headspace. I don't want to fucking do anything. Nothing interests me. Nothing gives me the energy to pursue anything. So all throughout high school, I mean, I skipped class. I didn't do homework. I barely even went out with friends. I had no motivation. I was locked up and I played video games. And I couldn't even commit to that. I couldn't even commit to making videos on YouTube. And it was videos about stuff that interested me. But, actual work had to be put into making the content, and I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to sit and do nothing. The only thing that I was fully committed to or even had a little bit of motivation for was music. But even then, I struggled to keep the motivation with that alive. Um, I was inconsistent in every single faculty of my life. And I had, teachers and all these adult figures, coming into my life basically saying to me, like, you were you were destroying your life before your life has even begun. You need to figure something out because this is not going to service you in the future. You are going to amount to nothing, and you are going to achieve nothing. And, I was a stupid kid making stupid decisions, hanging out with the wrong people, and, developing unhealthy habits and unhealthy regiments and an unhealthy routine. I didn't give a shit. The bottom line was I didn't give a shit about anything. And it wasn't until I turned 19. At 19, I got my first job, and I start. It was 10-hour shifts. It was just a janitorial position out of mine, and I absolutely hated it. I could not stand it. I could not stand the nature of the work. I had a lazy supervisor who made me do all of her stuff before I actually had to go into what my actual job was. And something about that kind of flipped a switch in me. And I said, I can't do it. I worked this job for 3 days and I quit. That's not a long time to work a job. And you can't just be, working a job for 3 days and quitting all the time. So that kind of sparked something in me. And I said, no, fuck it. I want to do something that I like and something that I feel will service me. Something that will give me something new to learn. So I chose education. I went to school for audio engineering and music production. So I applied for that literally right after I quit this job. And I was supposed to start in September of 2020, but then, 2020 happened. So that got postponed a year. And so I sat in quarantine for a year, and that's when things also started changing. I started, forcing myself to do little things, whether it was, writing songs more, or focusing more on practicing guitar, or, trying to have like meaningful relationships with people that I may have kind of sloshed to the side. I found a new motivation. I found that being locked away, you sit alone with your mind and you're forced to kind of get introspective. And I learned that all of these people telling me that my choices were actively harming me, I found that they were right. So a year passes, I go to school, and get this. The solution to one of the biggest problems in my life was my lack of motivation. I go to school. I'm forced to live on my own because I moved out of my home. I'm a fresh fucking fetus on the streets, baby. I'm paying rent, roommates. I'm going to school. I have to get up on my own accord. I have to get groceries. I have to pay bills, and I have to pay rent, and I have to get gas, and I have to get oil changes. I have to fully take care of myself. There is no fallback. There's no net. I found the easiest solution in all of my years of struggling with no motivation was to get out there and fucking do something. Experiences don't always have to be good. What matters is the experience. If it's a failed experience, you've learned something. That's far more than most people can say. It's that simple. Just go out, do something. Find something you enjoy. And if you enjoy something, pursue that. And regardless of what people say, if you enjoy it, at the end of that tunnel, you will find fulfillment because you enjoy it. And that's all I have to say for this video, really. It was short. The gameplay was short, so I tried to kind of shoehorn this in as fast as possible and as best as I could. If you guys want me to talk more about stuff like this in the future, I would gladly do that. I have a lot of experiences to draw from, so I hope that helped, and I hope it becomes of good use to you, and I hope you have a great day.